Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Jan Fortman with Relationship Matters TV. Happy New, I should have had my little Happy New Year hat on. But Happy New Year to all of you out there. This is 2024. Wow. So I've been hearing let's roar in 2024. I've been hearing more in 2024. And then I heard this comedian say mo in 2024. So whichever you want to say it, however you want to say it, I do hope that you roar in 2024 and that you have more of whatever it is that you desire in 2024. Before I go any further, I want to really thank all of you who sent your prayers, your texts, put it in the chat, all over Facebook, just friends from all over the world, actually, that sent your prayers for my husband's recovery. And he is recovering. He is doing just great. So I really want to thank all of you. Well, today, for all of you out there who are married or who want to get married, I have a couple on here today that's going to talk about how to keep your marriage together, how to be happy, how just the whole bit. So let me tell you a little bit about them before I bring them on. Well, it's Chad and Lanell Osinga. So as they take you into their life and show you how they used obstacles that most would have let stop them into opportunities to enrich their love, using their 26 years of experience. They take you into their world to show you how to build a bulletproof marriage and life. Having taken their relationship from hellish to heavenly, and I want to hear about that. They will guide us on how to make lasting changes that will revive the passion, trust, and communication within your marriage. Chad and Lanell do this through their inside-out approach. Like a thermostat regulates the temperature as you dive within and embark on this journey of healing, self-discovery, and raising your energetic vibration, you will begin to regulate the temperature of your life and relationship. So, regulate it to hot, hopefully. Anyway, and they have a show, okay? So unlike many of their shows, unlike many other shows, this is my first. This is 2024. My lips going blue on. Anyway, unlike many shows, the My Bulletproof Marriages duo is taking their audiences, and we're going to talk about their show, behind the scenes into their daily lives so they can show the world what a healthy marriage looks like. Also, how to navigate conflict and life's random curveballs. And you know, life can throw you a bunch of curveballs. But they're going to talk to us and really tell us all who, like I said, who are married, who's thinking about marriage. And I hope it's a couple of people who I know who are thinking about getting married. I really hope that you will tune in, that you will watch today. So let me bring them on stage. They're back in the green room having snacks. So you all put your snacks down and put your drinks down. Non-alcoholic, yeah. And so come on, all right? Hello, Chad.
Hi.
Nell, how are you?
I'm
Wonderful.
How are you?
I'm doing just great. I'm doing just great, great, great. So I'm going to say a little bit about Chad. So just to give you a little background on who Chad is, because when I read all this, I'm like, what? And Lanell. So Chad is a retired Army sniper. Ooh. And, and he's an instructor. He has had the unique opportunity to teach and train every branch of the military. That probably helped you in your marriage. The FBI, U.S. Marshals, DEA, and SWAT teams. OMG. And now Chad speaks at schools and detention centers across the country to inspire our youth to become the best version of themselves and achieve greatness in their lives. Welcome, 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 welcome. And thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. It was my pleasure.
And Lanell, wait, Chad, I'm going to say, and your better half.
Definitely my better half.
I don't always know. You know what? I agree now. But like years ago, I wouldn't have agreed to that.
I got to say that because I'm a woman.
Amen. Like I said, I understand. I get it. I'll take my flowers. I'll take my flowers now.
So I always say, whenever I talk to a guy and he's married, I always ask, so how's your better half?
I love that.
That's what I see. And you know what was challenging to me about you, that you were a stay-home mom for 13 years. Yeah. That's combat.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. Okay. That was going to war every day. There was no break. And it wasn't with the enemy.
Right. Wasn't with the enemy. So, first of all, how long have you all been married?
19 years.
Wow. And how
we've been.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, but we've been together or in each other's life for like 27 years.
Yeah. Wow. So 27 years. So you must have met her when she was what, 10 years old?
14.
Oh, I appreciate 14. That. But
she was 14. I was 15.
14.
I wasn't far off.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't.
We met young.
Yeah, I was 14. In home economics, actually.
Well, no, in the hallway.
Okay, in the hallway. When home economics
she was trying
over.
to hook me up with some other girls. I was the new kid. So my past is very checkered in my younger days, and my mother put me through a lot of stuff She ended up going to prison, and my house was raided. And so when I finally came back, they made me go to a school out of my district because of all the trouble that my family had gotten into. And that's where she was. And I was the new kid. So, of course, eyes are on the new kid. And some of the girls thought I was cute or whatever. And she came over to try to
be a matchmaker. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
which one you want? Like, let me know. I got you. And he was like,
Mm-mm.
no, I'm good. And walked away. And I was like, that's different. If I say that to any of these other guys here, they're like, yeah, for real. You got me now. Thank you. Because I knew everybody. So I was like, I got you. But he wasn't interested. And then the last period of the day was biology. And he happened to be in there. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, hey, white boy, what you doing? And then we just started talking. And then he finally told me his name. So I wouldn't call him white boy anymore.
She still did.
And I still
She
do.
still did.
I
She still does. Not did. She still does.
And so we just started. We were friends. We were friends for a very long time. A very long time.
We tried to date. We tried to date.
We did try to date.
The town that we lived in was not pro white and black relationships. It was.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, and so the year before I had gotten to the school, they actually had race riots in the school where like the police had to come and tear gas people, and it was bad. So there was already a lot of tension in the school before I even showed up. We kind of tipped that over, and so I was on probation due to all of the trouble I had been into before I got there. And there was a lot of people that wanted to fight me and or talk like they wanted to fight me. And then when they would see me, they of course wouldn't do it, or they would try to get like 15 of their cousins to come, and then they still wouldn't fight me. It was one of those deals, kids, they talk a lot, but she was afraid that I would go back to jail. So we ended up breaking up and just remaining really close friends throughout high school after that point.
Yep.
Wow. So, Lanell, what did your friends think about you going with this white boy?
My friends, they knew I didn't date anybody in town. I wasn't gonna date anybody because my family knew everybody. So I was too afraid that I would have hooked up with somebody, and the next it would have been Ken. And I was like, I can't do that, right? But I figured I was safe because he's white, so he's good. He should be fine. But no, I got a lot of white people in my family. So I was like, okay, I'm not good. I'm not safe there. But, they really didn't say much. They were like, he's really quiet. That was their biggest thing. They were like, he's really quiet. And I'm very talkative. I'm like, I'm an extrovert. So I'm like, hey, what you doing? Let's go out. Let's do this. He's very much an introvert. And so that was their biggest thing. Like, what do you guys have in common? Like, what do you like about him? Like, y'all so opposite. I don't understand that. And I'm like, no, but I love being around him. There is something about him that I just feel at peace with. Like, I feel like he's going to protect me. I knew that. Like, I knew no matter who was going to come around me, like, I'm protected. And that was just being my friend. So I didn't want him getting any trouble, and I was really nervous for him because I knew that he was not going to back down. And I was like, he's going to end up fighting them. They might not want to fight him, but eventually he's going to want to fight them. So let's just break up. Let's just be friends, and let's see where it goes from here. And then, I turned 18, and I was an adult, and we ran into each other. And you know what? He said, hey, let me take you on a date. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. I thought we were going to McDonald's. Like, I was like, he ain't got no money. I was like, we're going to McDonald's. So I had jeans, t-shirt,
right?
My hair was in a ponytail, no makeup on, just sneakers on. And my mom came when I was about to come out. She's like, whoa. No. Go back. You need to change and you need to get yourself together. You're going on a real date. And I was like, he don't have no money. We going to McDonald's. I'm not getting dressed up to go to McDonald's. And she was like, if he takes you to McDonald's, he's going to be the best looking dressed man in McDonald's. And I was like, what? And she's like, yes. She's like, he came to impress. So she told him to wait, talk to my father while I got myself together. She helped me. I did my hair, makeup. We got myself together. I came out and he was in a full suit. Full 3-piece suit, dozen roses. Yes, was having a great conversation with my father. And I was just like, wow, where are we going? And he took me to, at that time, it was like the most like elegant restaurant we had in town.
little
Italian spot. Yep.
Yeah.
And he took me there and we had so much fun. And then after he said, I want to take you to my favorite place, which was on top of the mountains. We were from Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. And the
Okay.
Blue Ridge Mountains. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
most people
Blue
would know about the
Ridge.
Blue Ridge
Yeah.
Mountains.
Yeah.
So we went there and he showed me the sights and it was so beautiful. And then I was like, well, I got to work the next morning so you can take me home. And he did. And he was such a gentleman. Nothing happened. It was like, I just felt so at peace with him as always. And so then the next day I called him. I got off work and I was like, you want to come over? And he was like, yeah. I was like, all right. And he came over and he never left.
Yeah, we've been
He never
yeah,
left
we've been rocking ever since.
ever since.
But most people that are on the dating side, so anybody that's watching and you're dating, one of the biggest things, you can call me old fashioned if you want, but no one brings their A game to court the person that they want to be with. And it's, one, it makes you feel like $1 million when you dress up and you're smelling good and you kind of go out of your way to do all of these things. It makes you feel a certain way, but it also, I think that it communicates how special that person is that you're going to go see. It shows that, they're not just a random person, right? They're in a different league, and that's why you're doing all this, because you see the value in them. So anybody that's on the dating side, you might want to take a tip or two and show up with your A game.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful advice, because the way you show up definitely impresses the woman.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yes. Not
You
only
know,
did it impress me, but it impressed my parents.
Right.
yeah,
They were very impressed that this young man at 19 years old showed up in a full suit with a dozen roses, like clean cut, car was clean. They were just like,
I had everything
I
planned.
mean, yeah, I was like, chivalry is not dead, and I appreciate that. And still to this day, when men hold the door open for me, I tell them like, yo, chivalry is not dead. Thank you so much. When the young boys do that, I tell them the same thing. I say, you keep doing that. I'm always trying to just encourage men to, be men.
Well,
Right? Be respectful, like show women that you appreciate who we are and what we have done for you all. And that, what, this young boy mentality that has circulated, right, this world for, I would say, shoot, what, 2 decades now, it needs to go away.
It needs to shift.
It does. It needs to
But
shift.
I'll say this about the car door open. See, men are about respect. That's what we value the most is respect. And how can the woman respect you if you're not showing them showing them how valuable they are? It's one of those things. If you do this, you're going to get the right results. And that's why I've always opened the door for her. I've always tried to be a gentleman, because that's what's going to, in return, give me what I need, which is the respect from the person that I'm with, which is, of course, my wonderful wife. It's a, yeah.
yeah. I agree with that, and like you said, if when a young man opens the door for me or holds the door, I always say, "Oh, thank you so much." I
Yes.
really appreciate that. Yeah, you are right. So, okay, so you are going out. So, how long did it take before you all decided to get married?
Not even 6 months. Not even 6 months.
Yeah,
It was quick.
Did.
Quick.
Well, that was the first. No, that was the first engagement.
Yeah, so I was trying to clean up my life. So she kind of gave me an ultimatum, because when we first met, I was still selling drugs. I was in the streets a lot, because that's all I knew growing up. I was a very rough kind of guy. I knew trouble. I knew the streets, and that's just what I knew. I can't really say anything other than what the truth is. But I wanted to change, because she was like, hey, if you want to be with me, you got to go get a real job. You need to make some shifts. I like you. I love you, but this ain't going to work. So I took that literally, and I stopped doing all of that, got a job. But I also got into church, because I didn't trust myself to make good decisions because of all the trouble I'd already been into. Unfortunately for me, the church that I gotten into, the pastors, they were very manipulative, and it was a small congregation. and they were literally controlling the whole
Mm-hmm.
congregation's lives. I mean, outside of the church, they wanted control over how they lived their life. And because I didn't know myself, I just trusted it. I trusted that God was speaking through them. They must be telling me this because that's what God wants me to do. And finally, one day they said, "Hey, you and Lanell can't be together. Y'all have had sex prior to marriage or prior to you getting married, and that's a no go. You know, this isn't right. God doesn't like this. Whatever, blase, blase." And so, me being person trying to make the right decisions, I called off the engagement. I broke up. I told her why. And of course, it hurt her, but she took it in stride. She really did. She wasn't like hateful toward me because I think she knew my heart. But soon she ended up leaving the church because she couldn't handle how controlling the pastors were. She was like, "Look, this is just it's not for me, you know." This and she always says that's not what God looks like. You know, God doesn't work like that. As soon as she left, it kind of woke me up as well. And I was like, yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy living like this. I know who I want to be with. I know that we are good together. And this was really our first hurdle, I would say, in our relationship that we had to get over outside of the stuff in school, which that was just kid stuff. But this was, we were young adults. We're trying to make a life together, and people that we gave authority in our life is saying no. This isn't right. And I finally left the church and came back to her and I said, "Look, I'm sorry. I should have never done this. I want to be with you and I want to make it right." And that's what we did. And probably 6 months from then, we ended up getting pregnant. We got a little excited after that, and things got a little hot and heavy. Probably took her back up to the mountains and did something else other than sightsee. And we got a little pregnant, and
not a little bit.
we got a whole bunch pregnant.
Very pregnant.
But at that point, I really didn't want my kids to grow up without like a stable family. I didn't want a repeat of my life. I didn't meet my dad until I was 40. So yeah. And my mom OD'd when I was really young, so it was just one of those things. And I didn't want it to be a cycle that I just continued. So I was like, we got to get married.
He did,
and
right away.
Yeah,
he's like, I need to get married. We're pregnant, and I want to marry you anyway. So let's go ahead and just move the wedding up. And I was like, okay.
And we were already, because we
already got re-engaged. And so we went ahead, and it was like 6 months. Him and my mom had planned the whole wedding within 6 months, and we were ready. Yeah, we would have got married probably within 4 months, but somebody already had the date that we chose. So then we were like, okay, 5 months, and somebody already chose the date. So we're like, okay, what about this date? And then that date settled, and then it was like, okay, let's get married. And we did. We got married 6 months later, and then had our daughter 3 months after that.
Yep.
It just shows that when two people come together and they're really meant to be with each other, it doesn't take like 5 years or when you know.
When you know. I always say that. I really did. I felt like I met Chad before I met him when I was 14.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I really feel at peace with him. I always tell him, like, there's something about you and I, like our connection or energy, like me just being right next to him. I don't have to be like on him, but just me being right next to him, there's like this energy, this connection that just flows through us. And I've always had that with him. Nobody else in my life but with Chad. And I'm like, yeah, I think I met you in a different life before we came here.
Yeah, we do. We have a strong connection. But this story with the church, if for the ones listening that are dating, you got to do what makes your heart happy and what settles right with you within your heart. The problem is that everyone has an opinion on your life, and they can guide you, but they can't guide themselves, right? Which doesn't add up.
Yeah,
there's got to be a time where you decide to follow your own heart and get on your own path and stop trying to be on somebody else, because you might be on a path, but if it's not yours, you're still lost. So that's what we did, and we realized it's us against the world, and that's okay with us as long as we are resonating and aligned with what we're doing and how we're moving, then everybody else can do it and say whatever they want. We're going to continue to move that way. So,
And what I've told a couple of young people who are in relationships, it's not supposed to be hard. You know what I'm saying? It really isn't. It's not
yeah,
supposed. And
Right.
in other words, when I say hard, I mean you're not supposed to be going through heartbreak.
Right.
right, right.
Right.
And that's number one. And number two, you if it doesn't really feel right, like they say,
Mhm.
those red flags.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, if the red flags are just waving in the breeze, but you trying to change it,
yeah.
that's not the person for you. But I have a comment here that came in for what we were talking about, opening doors. And Renita Dixon says, I love being treated like a lady. Something
Mhm.
as simple as opening a door makes a beautiful impact.
Amen,
Amen.
Renita. That is so right.
Yes,
That is so right.
You
yes,
know,
yes.
I think that a lot of the relationship struggle. We were actually just talking about this earlier today. People are getting into relationships because that relationship gives them a benefit of some sort. It might be sexually,
Financially.
financially. There's something that this relationship does that elevates them in some form or fashion, but they don't really like the person. They don't, you know, and this is a complicated thing because especially when you're young and hormones are going, sometimes you don't know
Yeah,
the difference between
yeah, yeah,
love and
yeah,
lust.
yeah.
But and we all go through that, but what I would implore people to do is find out that truth, right? Is, do I really want to spend my life with this person, go through the ups and downs that life's going to throw? Is this somebody I like, I want
I
to
want to.
have a conversation with
Yes.
consistently, not just get something from, but really be with, and when you break it down like that, sometimes the choices that you are making, you step back and say, hold on, what am I doing? Right? Like, just because maybe the bedroom is nice and everything else is not nice, maybe I should go find somebody that's got all the
All of the
categories.
qualities,
Yeah,
right? I tell my daughter that. Actually, I just had this conversation with her yesterday about that because she's 18, and I was just like, young lady, let me tell you something. I was like, he could be great in the bedroom, but if he don't have his finances right, if he's abusive to you emotionally, mentally, I was like, honey, I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't even give it a chance. If you see how he's treating somebody else and you know that they ain't right, I wouldn't even give him a chance. I was
Right,
like, I was like, you have to be self-aware at all times about how you're observing this person. Observe
right.
everybody that you're around. That's the biggest thing. I
yeah,
don't think people observe them long enough. You just jump into relationships and you
Yeah,
don't really get to know the person prior to you jumping into a relationship. And that's the one thing
yeah,
I'll say is that my friendship with him was
yeah.
so important. Like it was actually more important over my marriage. I was like, no, me and you may break up. I was like, but my friendship with you is keen. I need that because like he is the first person I think when something good happens, I want to call him and tell him about it. When something bad happens, he's the first person I think of. Like he is my go-to. He's my bestie. When I need just a shoulder to cry on, he's my person. And I just like being around him. Sometimes I'm just with him and we don't even say anything.
Right.
And that's how I think that most people need to understand. That's how you know that you might have found that person because you don't always need to try to conjure up this conversation. You don't
Yeah.
always have to, like, if you're always trying to figure out what to do outside the home, if you're always trying to figure out, we need to be doing something, we need to have people around us,
Hmm.
we can't just be by ourselves. Ding, ding, ding. Red
Yeah.
flag,
Yeah.
red flag.
100%.
We can be by ourselves
We could both be reading books and be happy as a
and be
lark.
happy.
Yeah.
and
You know.
and you so right about that. I was talking to someone who's in a relationship, young person in a relationship, and he was telling me that because the young lady has come with so much baggage from being, I would say, verbally abused, and her husband, twice, two husbands played on her and stuff like that. That with him, she's real clingy, And so his thing was, she just wants to stay up under me all the time, and I cannot take this. And I said, well, if you cannot stand for her to be around you 24/7, and you all talk about getting married, that's 24/7.
Right.
I, you know what I'm saying? That's 24/7. And,
Right.
and if you were like, when she, she went on vacation, and you were like, whoa, it's just so nice just to be by myself, and just to, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's definitely a red flag.
yeah. Even though you say she's a really very nice person, this, that, and the other, I'm like that. I
There's a
think,
lot of nice people out here.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
just saying, right? There's a lot of nice people out here, but that doesn't mean I need to be with them,
right,
right? I don't need to get married.
Right.
You
right,
know, you
right,
got to think. That's what people have to start thinking to themselves. Like, this is 24/7. This is bad, good. This is like you
yeah,
about to die, not right. Like
And,
we've had moments of death in our family, right? And we've been faced with that, and yet we both had to say, okay, like this is real. Like,
like,
okay,
our
this
friendship is what got us through so many of
yes.
these challenges that, like you mentioned in the intro, is like we have faced so many things that normal people just usually don't have to come up against. But if it wasn't for our friendship, if it wasn't for that connection, it would be chaos. And the thing is, we've seen it in so many other couples that had something similar or even less happen in their lives, and that thing separates them, turns them against each other. Next thing you know, they're getting a divorce or fighting every day, and they're running around, just miserable because they didn't take the time to really like the person that they entered
yeah.
this relationship with.
You gotta
Some
be friends. You got
Got
you,
it.
you gotta be friends. So
Yes.
look, I'm gonna take a quick commercial, and then when we come back, I want to know, number one, why you called it, why you named it My Bulletproof Marriage, and then I also I know that you have a course, and I want you to to let people know about your course and how you have, I know you have changed some lives.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, so don't go away. Don't go away. We will be right back. So if you want a bulletproof marriage, you better stay around so you can have a bulletproof marriage. Do we have a bulletproof marriage? Yeah, thumbs up. All righty. Be right back. Wow, both of those books are very, very appropriate to the theme of our show today, having a bulletproof marriage. So let's bring back Chad and Lanell. All right. So now, how did you come up with that name?
She actually came up with it.
I was actually thinking
Yeah.
about everything we've been through with our in our marriage. You know, for the first 10 years, it was horrible. And that was because we were young. We had two young children. We were both insecure. You know, we had trauma coming into our marriage. And then our daughter had a stroke within that 10 years. And so we were faced with having to, get her through rehabilitation. We had two small children. One actually was nonverbal for 8 years, and then our fourth child, he actually had, it was, people would think they were tantrums, but they weren't. He just didn't know how to regulate his emotions, and he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum. And so he, had a lot of sensory issues, lots. And so we were battling going through that, and then we had our fourth child, right, that we had at a very early age, and he just wants a normal life. He just wants to be a normal kid with a normal life. Yet he's got these three siblings, and he's like, man, this is a lot. But we did our best. I try to keep him in sports that he wanted to do. Anything he wanted to do at school, I said yes to. I just wanted to just make sure that he knew that he wasn't left out. And so going through all of that, Chad in the military, Chad getting out the military, retiring, he didn't want to retire, going through PTSD. Then Chad got hit off his motorcycle twice, 2018, 2020. He got hit off his motorcycle. That really changed the trajectory of our life. When all of that happened with him getting hit for the second time, and him he flatlined twice. And then they said, when I came to the hospital, they said, yeah, he won't walk for 18 months. And, all this negative energy and everything that they were saying was negative. And I was just like, I don't believe that. Like, I never believed anything they said. I never believed, even when he came to the hospital the first time, the first hospital they brought him to, everybody else was crying and everybody was like, oh, it looks so bad. I don't think he's going to make it. I mean, and I just was calm and collective. I was soothing everybody else. And everybody's like, why are you soothing us? And he's your husband. I said, because I just know I'm so connected to him. I just know that he's going to get through this. I know that. And I was just kind of worried about what my kids would go through emotionally, dealing with the fact that their dad wasn't coming home. And at that time, I didn't know when he was going to come home. So once they give me, the rundown of what I'm going to have to do to help him, he couldn't use the bathroom by himself. He couldn't shower by himself. We had to teach him how to walk again, just everything. And we went through all of that.
Let me tell you something. Before she even finished it, this woman is a superhero, because when our daughter had a stroke, they told her that she would never walk, talk, or eat ever on her own again. And she does all of those things. We had three kids in therapies all at the same time for different things. And when finally we got home, because it's a whole thing. They separate. We were in a different country when she had the stroke. And so we got separated because she was 38 weeks pregnant, gave birth to our third child while our daughter was fighting for her life in ICU. And then we got separated because of passports and all of this other stuff. We finally come back together, and the Army wants their pound of flesh. I got to go back to work. They're only going to give me so much time, and they want the full Chad, right? I got to go and give them everything, which left her juggling all of this stuff, right? Finances, the whole 9 yards. And then when I had my wreck, again, same deal. She still had three kids in therapy, still had the finances, and now she's got a grown man that she has to teach how to walk, shower, help use the bathroom, do things that most people don't have to do for their spouse. So, I just want to shout her out real quick, because she doesn't get enough credit for, and most women don't get enough credit for what they do in their marriages, for their family, for the kids. And so we're bulletproof because we were able to adjust through all of that stuff. And then when we finally found a recipe, we call it a recipe, yes. Right? It's just like you're in the kitchen. You got the right recipe, you get the right results every single time.
Amen.
As long as you're using the recipe like it calls for, right? And we had to go through all of these ups and downs to create that recipe. And I think that God put us through that so that way we could give a time-tested recipe so others don't have to. They don't have to go through the ups and downs. They don't have to go through 8 years of fighting and arguing and depression and all this other stuff. So, and that's what basically motivated her to say, oh, we're bulletproof, because we've been hit a lot. And,
yes,
and
yeah. So tell me about the recipe.
Well,
so I know you have 6 core principles, no, six
Eight.
core ingredients
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
in
no,
your recipe.
yeah, we have 8 that we kind of fully
Okay.
go over, and so like we go over our mindset
Mhm.
first. What we realize is kind of what she said before. We both came into our marriage
Mhm.
with a lot of negative thinking, a lot of negative trauma in our life. And what people don't realize is your partner becomes kind of like a mirror to you. And so all of these unresolved issues that came from your childhood, other relationships that failed, whatever has happened in your life, it begins to come out. And you are pointing your finger at your partner like you did this, that, but really it's just you're looking at all the things that you never fixed within yourself. All right. And until you look at those things and it's hard to see it, and that's why this kind of is not always accepted by a lot. They're like, no, my partner is, they're the worst, they do this and this. But when you really sit down with us and we can break this down, you begin to see that, oh man, yeah, this is me seeing me.
Yep.
Right. And it's a hard reality, but we hit on
Self-belief, that was our
yeah,
second one, because
yeah.
it goes kind of in order. We try to put it in order for people to really focus on themselves first, and then let's go on your self-belief. What do you believe about yourself? When you look yourself in the mirror, what do you see? When you're talking to yourself, your ego telling you? We got to dive into those things. What are you believing that somebody else told you about you?
What do you believe about marriages?
That's another
Okay.
thing.
What have you seen? Okay. What have you seen about how a man's supposed to treat you or how a woman's supposed to do? I had beliefs
Mhm.
about what a marriage is supposed to do. And what I was supposed to do as the man. I thought I was supposed to make the money and then come home, I don't know, and do nothing, I guess, and then wake up early and go get the money. And that's what I was taught as a kid, right? That's what a man's supposed to do. Oh, and open the door, be respectful, treat her like a queen, but go get that money. That's your job. Your job is the money. Make sure that you sacrifice all of your time, ensuring that they have a good life. And that's all you're supposed to do. They don't talk about all the other areas that a man needs to fulfill their wife in, right? And then the next thing we talk about communication, because probably 95% of relationships fail because of a horrible communication. And we know firsthand because we couldn't communicate to save our life.
Right.
No one taught us. We went through counseling, premarital counseling, but we didn't take it serious. Like a lot of couples, we think we got it. It'll never happen to me. Whatever happened to 90% of everybody else, oh man, I'll beat those eyes, because they don't know we're really in love.
Right.
Okay. Our love, it's strong.
Right.
Okay. And we thought the same way until you get in the situation and you don't know how, you never taught how to be able to communicate in a positive manner. So we hit that.
Extreme ownership. That was another thing. Like taking ownership of your part in the relationship. We had to do that. It's hard. It's really hard when you want to blame the other person and say, no, everything is your fault. But you got to think, no, and it gets easier, to be honest with you, once you start doing the other thing, the other ingredients, apply the other ingredients before you apply this. So we started doing that extreme ownership. Say, you know what? I am sorry for this. I believe in that. I don't like when people say, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? I want to know that you have an understanding of what you did. So please give me that explanation behind that sorry, and apologize sincerely and mean it, so that I know that you learned your lesson and that you won't do it again. And if you do it again, okay, got it. How many times am I going to keep allowing you to do that thing over and over again before I know that you've actually understood that? So that's another thing.
Yeah, and then we hit goal setting. We believe that it's good for couples to have goals within their relationship, individually, and as a family. If they, especially have kids and stuff like that, it's good to have a roadmap of the direction that you want to go and the things that you want to accomplish.
Number 6 would be the art of shifting.
This is our
bread and butter. That's what we always say, is our bread and butter. Through our whole journey of military life, especially once our daughter had the stroke, we had to quickly learn how to shift. It was like one day we skipped, she's walking to school, we were good. They called us, hey, something's going on with your daughter. Come here. Okay, we come. And before you know it, we never go back home. We never make it back home. We're sent to another, what was
That's
another city in Germany.
yeah, it's
And then
2 hours
we
away
never, yeah, we never left. And we had to ask a friend that we
to
just
watch
met
our
like
kid.
2 months ago to
Uh,
please take our oldest son, get him from school and take him home and watch him. And we had to believe that they were gonna, do right by him, because we were had to be with our
we
daughter.
had no way to get back.
And so
So
we had to really shift and learn how to just live life,
yeah,
learn.
people think shifting is compromise,
And it's not.
and we no the if you look up the definition of shifting, it's changing the focus, right, of whatever it is, and that's what we've had to do. Is like when we were with our daughter, when she had the stroke, we would go to Starbucks and have a date at Starbucks, walk around the atrium, and talk about the goals and how our daughter is going to walk again and lift each other up in the middle of the hospital. That's how we had a date, and we just learned how to shift and how to make those adjustments, how to turn obstacles into opportunities. So and then we definitely hit intimacy. Okay.
Intimacy, because
Yes.
we were hot and heavy, young on, right? We were young kids. We were like, yes, of course, yeah, this is all good. We're lusting after each other. We can't get enough of it. My mom used to get scared driving in the car with us. She'd be like, y'all not watching the road. Could you please watch the
Eyes on
road?
the road.
But you know what? Things have shifted. There were how many we were separated for almost 24 months in our marriage. There was no intimacy there. He got hurt
Yeah.
right from the last car wreck in 2020. There was no intimacy. He can't even use the bathroom. So you got to learn how to even figure out what to do to keep the spark going in your relationship when you can't physically be together in a sexual way.
So then we go over creating our North Star, and we have one more thing that's kind of a bonus. But our North Star is kind of sounds like it's goal setting, but it's more of the direction. Okay, we've laid out the goals, right? We know where we want to go as a family, individually, but without that North Star, it's easy to get lost along the way. It's easy to, 1 degree off on a ship, and you are completely in a different place. And so our North Star is about staying on course. It's about really driving towards those things that you want and staying on task. And then the bonus is the inside out approach. And that is also our bread and butter. And that's really what changed our marriage to what you see today is the inside out approach.
Mhm.
And really that boils down to, we talk a lot about dealing with ourselves, but this is really connecting with that timeless thing within us. We can call it whatever we want, right? We can call it God, whatever the term, spirit, soul, but there's something within us. And most of us are so focused on everything outside of us, these external factors, money, job, whatever, that we never take the time to really look within, connect with that, and live from there. And when we connect, it's just like what you said in the intro, it becomes a thermostat to our life and it regulates. The doors are going to get opened. Okay. The heat's going to come in.
Mhm.
But if you're connected with self, if you're connected with that spirit and that source, then that kicks in. And what we believe is that our reality is just a reflection of what our internal state is.
Mhm.
So if that is what we believe, then we want to fix our internal state to what we want to see in our external, right? And we began to do that on a personal level,
Yep.
and it changed everything.
Mhm.
And it regulated our entire home. Our kids changed without us having to force it. Like all these parents out here trying to force their kids to do things, and that's why they rebel and all these other things, right? We didn't have to do anything. We led by example, and the temperature in our home changed, which changed every single person inside the home.
That wow. Like I said, that's wonderful. So, which one of those ingredients do you see is the hardest for couples to accomplish?
The mindset.
Yeah.
The
Really?
mindset. Yeah, but if you could win, you choose to really change your mindset. Everything else that's in the ingredients will
It's
just
easy.
make it easier for you to bake that bread or whatever it is that you're baking. It'll make it so much easier, but you got to change your mindset, because what happens is you'll play these stories
Mm.
about what you think reality really is, but if you really check out what reality is in front of you, then you understand what the story is telling you. It's kind of like when you're looking at your partner. Really think about the story. You're telling yourself, well, he treats me like this and he's treating me, he don't want to do this, he want to do this.
It's
But
because so and so said this, and because he saw that girl at Starbucks and she's hot and I'm not as pretty, and
all
all
stories
stories.
just telling you, told yourself. But then but really look at the reality. Is he's staring at you, he's gazing into your eyes, he loves you so much,
Kisses
right?
you on the
He
neck, gives
goes
you
off to
hugs,
work
cooks for
every
you.
single day. Yeah, he may not be like so and so you saw on social media, he may not be like so and so you saw down the street, he may not be like that guy that you saw that had a camera up all the time, right? And he doing all this and doing all that with his girl. But what you don't know is behind closed doors, that man that you see on social media actually don't even like the girl that he with. Okay, that guy that got the camera, only reason he got that camera up so many times
Get
because he want all
likes.
them darn likes and
Yeah.
validations. Okay, so understand what you do have is more special than anything else, and I realized that, and that's something that we went through for many years. Me, once social media came out, I was like, look what he's doing, look what he's doing, this and da. Why aren't you like this? Why aren't you like that? I was like trying to change him. I was trying to accepting him for who he truly was and who I know he was. And I was allowing these stories to replay in my mind over and over again about what I didn't have instead of appreciating what I did have. And when I started appreciating what I did have, and then I started looking at him in that way, and then I started changing my mindset, I said, yes, baby. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you so much for what I have, because
Our,
I wouldn't want anything else.
the human mind is what has caused all of our wars,
Yep.
poverty, every evil act that we can think of has come from a human mind, right? And why do I say that? Because we within us, that internal self that I was talking about, that's light, right? This brightest light you could ever imagine is within each and every one of us, but our mind is like a shadow, okay, and it casts darkness over that light that's within us. And so when you can start to fix the way you think, and you can start allowing that light to shine, okay, you really begin to see the truth of what your reality is and how special your life really is.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know, you use that word shatter.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you didn't even
I ain't paying no attention.
And Sandy Bunny Inner said instead of bulletproof, you guys should be called shatterproof. And the thing is, I saw what she put on here before you said shatter.
Love it. Thank
Wow.
you.
That's all. But once again, that's the universe working out, right?
That's the
You always tell
universe
people
working
that
out. Wow.
if you would just stop trying to
Over
control
toothpaste
everything
caps.
in your life, that's another thing. Stop trying to control everything in your life. Everything is going to happen the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to happen, regardless of how much you try to change it. So even if you are trying to change something about somebody or try to change an outcome that's supposed to happen, I promise you, the universe is laughing at you, because the universe is, I promise, this is how it's going to happen, regardless of what you try to do. So we always say it doesn't matter how you get to the top of the mountains, you're going to get there.
Right. Just keep moving. Yeah.
Wow. And then we got another comment. Renita says, wow, most couples crumble over toothpaste caps.
I know that's right.
She's so right.
We do. We look at couples and we're like,
We
why?
do.
Why?
I'm like, why
Hold on.
are you breaking up? I'm
You-
like,
Oh
okay.
Lord.
I know we just come back home. I'll be like, can we help them? Like,
Uh-huh.
they need help. But most people they don't really want help, to be honest
No,
with
they
you.
want confirmation for
Yeah,
their.
they're right.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
another person came in text. She says, you all are an amazing, that's from Maxine. She says, you all are an amazing couple.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Max.
Then another question came in. Where do you see yourselves 5 to 10 years from now?
Oh man.
Well, the goal is that we are living on 10 to 15 acres, that we are growing our own food, that we are living a holistic lifestyle, which we've already tried to work on changing. Not try,
No,
we actually are
live
changing.
a holistic life.
We growing our food right now inside our home. I make our own laundry detergent. I make our own toothpaste. We really are changing the way that we, what we put inside and what we put on the outside of our body, because our vessels are temple and we need to, take care of it as much as possible if we want to live a long life.
I see us helping on a bigger stage, 5 to 10 years from now. That's our main reason that we do this. This isn't about money for us. It's really trying to empower as many humans as we possibly can, not just in their marriage, but in life in general.
That's
and
right.
so I see us doing a lot more of that. And being in a place where we have a lot more influence.
Okay, so, and Renita says, I love that.
Oh, thank you, Renita. Thank you for all your
now, if our audience wants to, two things. I know you have a show.
Yes.
That's number one. And it's on Trajectory TV.
Amen.
Yes, on Sundays.
TV. Okay, so, and the name of the show is
My Bulletproof Marriages.
Okay, and your course. Now, if people want to have a bulletproof marriage, where do they go?
mybulletproofmarriages.com. And there is a link to set up a free 30-minute call with us, right? Just, set up a call. We'll sit down, we'll chat, we'll see if we vibe, see if we can help you a little bit and get you on the right path.
All righty. And you also are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And so your YouTube channel, is it the same? Is it
My Bulletproof Marriages?
I think it says podcast on after My Bulletproof Marriage. Just so.
But if they go in on YouTube and they type in My Bulletproof Marriage,
we'll come up. Yes.
We'll come up.
Yep.
It'll come up.
That's
come
right.
Up. Oh wow! You know what? This has been just amazing. It really, really is. And what can I say? You all are a couple after my own heart, and it's and divinely the universe brought you all together.
That's right.
Yeah, I believe so.
We believe that.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was an honor. Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yes. And there are a couple of people watching. I'm going to send this to them personally.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
You know what? And if you all watch it, okay, and you need some advice, once again, we have a free 30-minute call. Reach out. Yeah. We actually, on our TV show, it's on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are doing mail calls. So you can go ahead and if you go to mybulletproofmarriages.com. My
Bulletproof Marriages at e360tvlive.com.
Yes.
You can send us an email, ask us a question, leave your name and whatever city you're at, and we will actually answer that question on the show live.
Okay, so let me see if I can type this in right quick so I can put that on there. So say it again so I can put it up there.
So My Bulletproof Marriages at e360tvlive.com.
e360tvlive.com.
And we also have a Facebook group that you can join. And we put
wait a minute. I thought I was typing it and I wasn't. Wait, I was on a different keyboard. Now I'm going to put it on there. Okay. So My
Bulletproof
Marriages at
E360
TV Live. That's it, right?
.com.
Oh, .com. Okay, so I want to add this banner. And then I want to display it here. Yeah.
Hey,
there we go.
Yeah. Oh, it's not bulletproof. People,
they know.
I'm gonna say y'all know it's My Bulletproof Marriages at E360.
It's not bulletproof. It's bulletproof.
But we also have a Facebook group that you can join. We put content every single day.
Almost every
Well,
Okay.
yeah, every
Not
single
every
day. Just kind of just giving knowledge and tips. And we have couples that have been married longer than us. We
Yeah,
are
40-year
40
marriage.
years. Yep, 40 years. And so we love, advice. We're never
You
to
never arrive.
never. So we love advice and we love to help. And so you can join our Facebook.
Yeah, completely free. It's a good vibe. Come participate.
Okay, wait, I dropped my mouse. Wait, and not only did I drop it, it came apart. So, great, why did I do that? Oh, here it is. Okay, so because I was trying to fix um, my bulletproof marriages at e360tvlive.com. Well, you
Yeah.
know, Chad and Lanell, oh, gee, have I really messed this up? Oh, my God.
Oh
I'm
no.
Oh no.
not only that, I won't be able to end this show.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
that because you got
Wait a minute. I think that might have done it. OMG.
oh no.
I have really
Um,
messed up. Well,
oh,
it should, maybe I can do it. Oh, this is a touch screen. Okay.
there you go.
It's happening when you're live, right?
Yeah.
Right. They happened.
But thank you all so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
thank
Thank
you.
you.
I really, really, really hope that people really reach out to you because it's so important these days. Like they say, the divorce rate has risen and I dropped it again. And so I think that you all definitely are just godsend.
Oh,
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
And this was so fun.
This
You're a
was.
great host, so thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you all have a beautiful, blessed rest of your evening.
Yes,
Thank
you do
you.
the same. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Wow. This has been really great. And like you say, live TV. So I dropped the mouse and I don't even know if I can get back. But anyway, I want everyone to have a beautiful, beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you again next week. Bye bye.